I have not stopped potting this entire day. Welcome to mock number 2 in our 12 mock series here on Old Man Squad Fantasy Basketball, presented by FanDuel and the Believe Network. I'm doing them, or I'm attempting to do them, in order. I did slot number 1. That was the Jokic mocked, as it turned out. I'm going to attempt not to get the same guy in this one, meaning if Jokic is left to me at 2, I'm going to skip over him because you guys already got to see the other one. But it's really less about who I got at number 1 and more about who's there for me at subsequent rounds. So don't worry too much about the build that I have going on right now. This is really, again, more about who's there for me. Now, let's see. I got this thing queued up a little bit. Who's there for me as we go? So it's Jokic. It's not Jokic, whatever. Like, I might take Jokic again, but it also would make more sense if I didn't. I'm also realizing that there is a little bit of noise in the background here, so I'm going to turn that off in a second. As I put the mock on the board, it starts in 90 seconds. This is my opportunity to remind all of you guys to follow me on Twitter at Dan Besbris, DanBesbris. And please check the show description while you're hitting the like button, while you're subscribing to Old Man Squad. Please check that show description. It's got a link to my Google Sheet, which has everything I do totally free. It's got my ranks for free. It's got the schedule grid for free. It's got ADP information for free. It's got injury boards for free. All of that gratis. So, yes, I did also start a Patreon. I set it for $1. It's the lowest number they would allow. I'm hoping that I can get that number up to a high enough plateau where that, combined with pod ad revenue, pays all of my childcare. And then I can do this for free forever because I become a net zero member of my own family. Easy peasy, lizard squeezy. I'm going to pause for 20 seconds while I turn off the noise in the background. Then we'll come back and get this thing started. Okay, you guys literally missed nothing at all. That's perfect. So we've got the mock window going. I'm going to move my face into the corner so it can be a little bit bigger. I don't need to set up a queue because I have the number 2 pick. There goes Jokic. You guys know I'm Shai over Wemby here. So I'm going to take Shai at 2, and then we're just going to deal with it from there. I just it's easier for me to punt threes. And I think there are fewer teams. You don't even have to punt threes if you don't want to. You could just build an ultra well-rounded club. But if you do punt threes, you can build a ridiculous team in the other 8 categories. To me, that's an easier thing to punt because those guys are less sought after than if you go the Wemby route and you're probably hard targeting guards. You have to have a guard build with some shot blockers. That's it. You can make a pretty damn good team that way. Make no mistake, Wemby's a really good starting point, but I just find Shai to be a little bit simpler. We're only going to go about 10 rounds deep in this one. I'm going to do what I did in the Jokic one. If you watched that one, if you didn't, basically we get to the 10th round. I'm just going to click, I'm going to star or queue all the players that I look at the end of drafts. If you guys have listened to some of these shows before, when we get to that point, you can probably just turn it off and go to the next episode if you like, or you can watch it out. This is not going to be a big analysis type of show. I'm not going to be telling you a ton about what my team is great at, what my team is bad at. I'm not that worried about that right now. If I get targets of mine in every round, my team's going to be good enough that I can deal with the, if I'm pretty good at one thing, I can lean into that in December. If I'm not that great in something, if I'm kind of medium in rebounding or whatever, I'll trade a guy on my team whose greatest attribute is rebounds, and I'll use that to shore up something else. First round is done. I'll give you the list in just a minute. All right, what do we got here? And I got to come back and give my own team. The first round, Jokic, Shai, Wemby, Luka. Interestingly, Cade went ahead of Giannis in this one. Then Booker at 7, Ant-Man at 8, Steph at 9, Anthony Davis at 10, James Harden 11, Donovan Mitchell goes 12, Maxey 13, Trae Young 14, Cat 15, Sabonis 16, Kevin Durant 17. Trae Young going later than I'd expect in almost every draft I've done, but I think it's because I'm drafting with people who watch my show and agree that Trae Young is kind of a pain in the butt to build around a lot of the time. As it gets bats closer to me, some of the names that I'd look at here, Evan Mobley's still on the board, but someone's going to take him in the next 2 picks. I'm pretty certain of it. Jalen Johnson is gone already, so that's the other guy that I tend to look at in this sort of end of second round range. Josh Giddey is someone I would look at the end of the second round. Jalen Williams, I'm going to keep getting stuck with him. I don't think I'm going to take him in more than one league in case his injury turns out to be a bigger deal than it is. And I just took him in the Jokic mock I did 40 minutes ago. And there goes Giddy. So I lost all of my stuff again before it got to me at pick 23. So I'm going to skip Jalen Williams this time. And instead, we're going to push down the board a little bit to Jamal Murray and Derek White and Bam Adebayo as the next guys I would look at. You could also go Chet Holmgren there if you really wanted to. I keep taking Derek White everywhere, so let's do Jamal Murray just so you guys can see me take somebody else. And now I've got a guard, a wing, and well, I guess Shai is technically a guard also, but he plays like a wing. And we'll go Chet because, oh, actually, you know what? I don't have 2 picks in a row. I can't decide what I'm going to do yet. Forgot I wasn't specifically on the turn. Now I could go Chet if I wanted to. Jalen Williams, by the way, at 26, I'm totally fine with. Derek White here, I'm totally fine with. Adebayo here, I'm totally fine with. A little early on Bam, but if you need a big, you need a big. I will go with Chet because I think my Jamal Murray Shai start, I'm getting such good percentages out of my guards that if my center is not a big field goal percent guy, I'm not as worried about it. My team is not terrific at rebounding, although I don't think Chet's going to be bad at rebounds. He's just not like a massive rebounder. My team is pretty good at assists, but we'll see which direction that goes. Good at steals, good at blocks, great at percentages, better at threes. So this is probably not going to be a punt threes team because I took a center that's going to get me 1.5 to 2, and Jamal Murray is going to get 2+. But it's also maybe not going to be a huge 3-pointers team. It's a little bit of a weird start. And again, like some of that is because I'm taking guys that I haven't taken before. And honestly, that's maybe not the best because now it's going to change how I draft the rest of the way through. So let's worry less about what my team looks like. And instead, in the future, just understand if you have picked 23 and all of your favorites from the second round and early third are off the board, just take the guys you like, which again was Bam, Chet Holmgren, Derek White, Jamal Murray. I think my 2 favorites are actually Jamal and White, and I just didn't do it because I didn't want to go Shai and then guard. But honestly, if you're in a real draft, you could do it. There's plenty of centers on the board in the 5th, 6th, and 7th rounds that are going to be not as good as a Bam Adebayo, but like Pirtle, Duran, Jared Allen. I mean, we'll get there, and I'll list them when we get there. But Miles Turner a little bit earlier than some of those other guys. If you have any trust in Walker Kessler, he's in there. DeAndre Ayton is in there. Rudy Gobert is in there. There's plenty of centers that I can pick up later on, and I didn't have to just get one because I didn't have one yet. And in a real draft, I wouldn't. Let's see how fast I can read off some names to you guys. After my picks, after my Jamal Murray, Scotty Barnes, and Jalen Brunson went before Holmgren, then it went Derek White right after me. No surprise there. Şengün, Jalen Williams, Jaylen Brown, Austin Reeves, nice and early. Banchero, Siakam, Bam, JJJ, Cooper Flag to finish off the third. Kawhi starts the fourth, then Avdia, De'Aaron Fox, and Ja Morant at 40 gets us back now to 6 picks away from my turn. And so it's time for me to start looking at the board. And here's what happened in another mock draft. Franz Wagner and Trey Murphy fell to me at the end of the 4th round. I had no intention of taking those guys, but they are probably the best guys on the board right now. And they're still there. And now it's 5 picks away. So Franz, Trey Murphy, Desmond Bane should be on your list. And then you can start looking at some of your other guys. Jimmy Butler, because I haven't taken a risk yet. Zion and LeBron just came off the board. So I could go Jimmy. He would be in there. Kristaps could be a risk I might take, but probably not. Not if I have Chet Holmgren already. But I don't want to worry about my team right now. I want to worry just about the names. And LeBron goes 43. Miles Turner goes 44. So I'm going to get one of these guys that's falling too far at 47. I don't know which one it's going to be, but I'm going to get one of them. And then we're going to turn the corner and we'll look at who's coming back the next time around based on, I guess, what we just did here. But then there's this sort of dead zone for me between Desmond Bane and, well, other than Miles Turner in there, but between Desmond Bane and like Jalen Duran at 58, I don't really like the players in there. And there goes Porzingis. I'm going to have my pick of some of these falling guys. This is interesting. I didn't expect to have a crack at France, Trey Murphy, and Bain at the end of the 4th round, but it's happening in multiple drafts. There goes Brandon Miller. Christ, I might get both of them. Who do I think is the least likely to get back to me of that group? We'll go Trey Murphy. Let's see if any of these guys get back. Franz or Bain? Either one of them get back to me? The 3 guys at the top of the board are the ones I'm looking at right now. So odds are I'm not going to get them. But I'll get one of them because there's only 2 picks here. There goes Franz. Let's see if Bain's the other one. And then am I going Jimmy Butler for another wing? Or am I going to go big man and go down and take Jalen Duren? It'd be hard for me not to take Jimmy Butler here if he's there. And frankly, it'd be hard for me not to take Desmond Bain if he's there. Vooch! I got my pick of Desmond Bain or Jimmy Butler at pick 50. Oh, man. Butler's the higher upside, but he's going to miss games, and he's already got something hurt. So I'll go Desmond Bain. Wow. I did not expect to get Trey Murphy and Desmond Bain end for beginning 5. This is changing the way I'm looking at drafts right now. I think I said the names of the players as they were going, but I'll put them up on the screen for folks that want to look at it. There goes Jimmy Butler right after me. So a couple of times this has happened. I took Holmgren in the 3rd, and then Derek White came off. Took Bain here in the 5th, and then Jimmy Butler came off. And obviously, I mean, if you can get a guy you like from the 4th round at the beginning of the 5th, that's a best case scenario for when you have one of these early picks. I think my team is pretty good. I'm not overly enthused about the Holmgren, Jamal Murray, Shai pairing as it sort of equates to the actual team I'm constructing. But like getting Bain and Trey Murphy that late, my team is in very good shape. Reminder again here mid-show, this program is brought to you by FanDuel and the FanDuel Sports Network. I was talking about Desmond Bain, Orlando Magic season win total this year. We haven't talked about that one in a little while. They're at 50.5. That's a big number, but I also think they're going to be pretty good. So Orlando Magic, 50.5 over at FanDuel. I think I might even look at the over. They're going to be pretty good this year. Well. I haven't told you guys about the HOF app in a while, mostly because I kind of want to talk about it more when the season starts, when you can use it for basketball. But here, listen, the point is go to HOF app, search for HOF app on a smart device, or go to hofapp.com and check it out. You can poke around for free without doing anything. You can also sign up for a free 7-day trial with my promo code SQUAD, SQUAD. If you like it, that promo code will also get you half off your first month. What the device does, what the HOF app does, is it takes thousands of data points, projections, matchup data, trend line data, players' hot and cold data, and it mushes it all together into a giant computational system and spits out likely outcomes. And I feel like football is things that you can like kind of think this through quickly, because like what team is hot, what team is not, who's healthy, who's not, how does it line up with the line that Vegas gives to a game versus what's likely to actually happen. And they'll tell you. You can use it to eliminate weak legs of a parlay. You can use it to build out your actual wagers, whatever. That's HOF app, promo code SQUAD. Check that out today. Fantrax, FanDuel, HOF, those are our partners. But really, just go to the dang show description. It's got all this stuff. All right, it's coming back to me, and I don't have much time to think about it. Jared Allen is on my board here at the end of the 6th round. A lot of my other targets for this area are already gone. Walker Kessler at 71. I'd almost have no choice but to go that direction if he's there. Nembhard at 71 is not bad. And that's kind of it. I don't want the other guys at the top of the screen here. And I'll tell you why, because of the guys that are gone. Rudy Gobert would probably be the next one, but I'd rather get him coming back at 74, and I'd rather not get 2 centers in a row there if at all possible. Manuel quickly comes off ahead of me. All right, I think this should basically last me through. I guess we'll see. Christian Brown, Donovan Clingan. Again, this is a little bit of another dead zone for me, and it got to me here. Jared Allen, who do I think is not going to make it back to me? The safest play here is Allen. He's not an interesting one, but he's a safe one. So we'll go Jared Allen. I would like a center that's not going to hurt my percentages, and it's going to help one of them. I think my team's percentages are actually pretty stinking good right now, and you can see it. I've had the Number 2, free throw percent by projections. Number 2, field goal percent by projections. I'm only losing to the teams that are hard targeting those, but beating them in a lot of other stuff. My team is not great at three-pointers, which seems weird because I have Bane and Murphy, but some of the other guys just don't hit a ton of them. And I kind of mid-pack in scoring, low-ish in rebounding, low-ish in assists, good steals, good blocks, good turnovers. I have a pretty well-rounded club. And again, a lot of guys just got back to me here. I'm surprised at how many have. I like a ton of these dudes at 74. I have centers. I don't know if I want another one. Walker Kessler has big-time upside. Nembhard has big-time upside. Do I want to lean more into the big or the little? Man, I don't know. I got too many choices. I'll go Kessler and pray that he doesn't get shut down. Well. Hurts my free throw. Now I'm kind of upper mid-pack there, but I'm field goal percent, I'm great. And rebounds, I'm great. And blocks, I'm extra great. But I think I'm pretty set for centers now with Holmgren, Jared Allen, and Walker Kessler. Probably should have gone point guard, so I don't. But also, I guess the issue my team has right now is I don't have like a traditional small forward, really. Well, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We'll figure it out. I'll also warn you guys that a Dodgers playoff game just started, and so I will be lightly distracted by whatever's going on in that. All right. So where are we at in this thing? Let's put the board up so you guys can see what everybody's been doing. I don't think I gave you the 6th round. I don't even think I gave you the end of the 5th. So after my Desmond Bane pick, it went Butler, OG, Embiid, Ivica Zubats, Garland, Miles Bridges, DeRozan, Ingram, Kobe White, and Jordan Poole. That finished off the first 60. Then the 60s went Ayton, Pritchard, Zach LaVine, Duran, so I loved all those ones. Asar Thompson went real early at 65. Randall, 66. Markkanen, 67. Pirtle early at 68. But, I like Pirtle. Quickly and Tyler Hero. Then I got Jared Allen at 71. Jalen Green and Rudy Gobert went in between me. And I went center, which is a little bit weird when I already had Holmgren. And that's why I should have just taken a guard up there. That should have been Jamal Murray and Derek White at the beginning because there's so many centers in this range. You don't have to grab one super early if you don't want to. You can if it's like a super hyper elite one, and maybe Holmgren turns out to be, but I don't know. I like Chet. I just can't figure out exactly where he fits for me. Anyway, after Mike Kessler, then went Hartenstein and Williams, so a few more centers off the board. Bezelis went at pick, 77? Nembhard, 78. Alex Sarr, 9. And Onyeka Okongwu went at pick 80. Very early there. Michael Porter Jr., 81. Simons, 82. Paul George, 83. And Donovan Clingan made it all the way to 84. I'm sure that team was thrilled to get him at the end of the 7th round. He doesn't often make it quite that far. Shaedon Sharpe starts the 8th round at 85. Then Cam Johnson, a love of mine. You knew he wasn't going to get to me near the end of this one. Mikal Bridges at 87. Norman Powell at 88. And we are now all caught up on the board. Yahoo still thinks my team is pretty good. I still think the makeup is a little bit goofy, but for head-to-head, I think it's actually now kind of okay that I'm leaning a little bit more into a few things and maybe a bit of a punt assist club at this point. I think I'm probably bottom of the pack in assists, right? 3's not so good either. Not dead last. More of the difference between, I guess, a hard and a soft punt. Drew Holiday at 89. That's intriguing. Beal at 90. Brown at 91. And now I got to get myself ready here. Depending on what my team is punting, Mathurin, John Collins is usually the guy I would aim for here, but I don't know if he's going to make it. Khalil Ware at a 92. And if those guys don't get to me, then I kind of have to start peeling a little farther down the board. There goes KPJ at 93. Cam Thomas, 94. All right, so I got my John Collins, who fits my team build, bigger and efficient. I'm very much punting assists at this point. Jamal Murray is the closest thing I've got to an assist guy, and he's not even really there. Benedict Mathurin and Josh Hart came off the board quickly. Now it's right back to me again. I got to choose between Aldama and Tari Eason. My team build suggests I should probably go Tari Eason, but I mean, maybe I need a little bit more scoring, and I don't know if I need the defensive stats as much. Either way, I think you're okay. Eason's sitting out some back-to-back, so I'll go Aldama just because I want guys that are going to be in there every day. And we are now starting to get close to where I'm just going to start making my extensive targets list and then abandon ship on the rest of the mock. Not to screw with these people, but like, who cares what somebody actually does in the 12th round of a mock draft? You guys just care about what players I'm looking at that range. And I'll tell you all of those. I'll put them all on the screen, and then we're done. And like, as far as, team build goes, what did I do here? A very good field goal percent team, a mid-pack free throw, mid-pack and threes, amazingly. I don't know how I pulled that one off with this weirdo team I constructed. Points. How am I high? Oh, because I have one more pick than a lot of these guys. That's why. I'll come down in some of those. Assists are still terrible. Steals are mid-pack. I thought that would be better. Blocks are excellent. Turnovers are very low. I have a super efficient team. And yeah, I like efficiency. You guys know I like efficiency. Brewers have a couple of runners on, so now I'm a little extra distracted. Draymond Green goes 99. Tumani Kamara goes 100. Jalen Suggs, and then Devin Vassell 101 and 102. So wait a little bit longer, and then I'll put my list together. Derek Lively, he's still out there. People are not that high on Lively. I think he's going to have a pretty good year. Lively, Wiggins are the guys in that sort of like non-flyer range that I would still think about. And then you get into the others, which I like a lot of the others. And I'll do the same thing I did on the last show. I'll just scroll down the board and I'll tell you who I like and how much. Keegan Murray, once he gets healthy, I like a lot. By the way, Naz Reid at 103, Tari Eason 104, Reed Shepard 105, Nick Claxton 106. That nice little mini surge to keep the draft motoring along. And there goes Derek Lively at 107. So he didn't hang around for me. So Wiggins is kind of my only upper guy. Upper. I don't call that. And then Keegan Murray, I'm going to start populating my list. DiVincenzo, I like a lot. Nikola Jovic, I like a little bit. Tobias Harris, I like a medium amount. Those are the guys in the kind of 1-teens that I'm eyeballing. There goes Brandon Pajemski, by the way. He was another one I was going to put on my list. I like Pajemski a lot. I like Portis a lot. I like Herb Jones a pretty good amount. Keyshawn George, I like a little. I think there are going to be some efficiency issues that ruin things for him. Cason Wallace, I like a medium amount. Aaron Nesmith, I like a medium amount. So I'm just trying to give you a rough thought of it. Who else we got on this one? Isaiah Jackson, sort of low to medium amount. I'm hoping he can figure it out, but I'm also not certain that he will. Scrolling. Nimiash Keita at 160. Whitmore. I like Keita a medium amount. Whitmore a little bit. Taylor Hendricks a little bit. As by the way, DiVincenzo, RJ Barrett, Ace Bailey, and Herb Jones all just came off the board. So a few of my targets are not getting back to me there. Sam Hauser, I like him a little. Kelly Oubre, I like a fair amount for the games that Embiid misses, which they're gonna happen. And that takes us mostly to the end of my late guys. I mean, you could put Al Horford on there. He's down at 213, but he's also very low on the priority totem pole. And the thing is, and I guess this is sort of good and bad. Drafting with a lot of really smart people in this one, I'm still getting an opportunity to look at a lot of the guys I like in the late 10th and early 11th. I think you're going to get in trouble if you have a late pick because you'll get someone you really like in the 10th round, but you might not get someone you want in the 11th. And there goes Wiggins and Tobias Harris. And I'm going to have a pick here coming up in just a second. And that'll be just an opportunity for me to tell you who I like the most of this group. But then we're basically going to wrap it up. So before we do that, a reminder, please subscribe. I did number 1. This is number 2. 3 through 12 still to come. 10 more of these are on the way. Who do I like the most in this group? Bobby Portis I like the most in this group that's left because Wiggins and Tobias came off the board. And I go Oubre or sit on Keegan Murray or go Cason Wallace. I'll probably sit on Keegan Murray if he gets back to me because now you're in the 11th round. I've got my 10 main starters. If you're in a Yahoo League, it's got 3 IL slots. And with Murray, it's a hand thing. So I feel pretty confident he's going to be back, 2 to 3 weeks into the season. Seems to heal pretty quickly. I think you can probably survive that. So I'll go Keegan here, and then you guys heard all the other names on the board. So apologies to everybody else in this mock draft. Dano is done with it. I am tapping out to save my voice so I can do 10 more of these mock review shows. But the nice thing here is, and I can try to show you guys my team. There you go. Draft results. Zoom out a little bit. So you guys can kind of see like who was there. And again, the big thing I saw in this one and was that a lot of really interesting late third, early fourth round guys got passed over for more exciting names. And that left me with Trey Murphy and Desmond Bain. And the other mock I did where I put myself in the one hole, I got Trey Murphy and Franz Wagner, which I could have gotten in this one. If maybe I went Franz, would Trey have lasted until my next one? I don't know. It's impossible to know who Luke was going to take at 48 and 49. He ended up taking Franz there, but Franz falling in my two mocks, Trey Murphy falling in my two mocks, and Bain falling in one out of the two. I'm ending up getting really good guys, end fourth, early fifth, and not being forced to take my risk there. Or another one, I ended up taking Larry Markkinen like 25 picks later, which I thought was really surprising. Not a guy I thought I was going to get anywhere, but when he falls past 70 and you have no risks on your team yet, then you definitely do it. But anyway, thanks for sitting through us on that one. Again, check the show description. Check out the Google Sheet. It's free. Check out the Patreon if you got a buck. If you don't, doesn't matter. Not going to be mad at you. Like, rate, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at Dan Besbris. We do a lot over there. Mock number 3 next on the docket. We'll see you when I see you.